Hello there. Hearty welcome to Prasanna Kumar Pincha YouTube channel. Friends, trust you are hell and hearty wherever you are. As that Urdu couplet goes, एक बार फकत पूछ ले क्या हाल है तेरा, काफ़ी है ये दवा तेरे बीमार के लिए. And it kind of translates, or should I paraphrase it, and I can paraphrase it like this. Just for once, inquire about my tidings. That's medicine enough for someone who's fallen for you. Now, friends, today we are going to take up a topic which is a burning topic, in fact. And it is with regard to issues associated with the implementation of the recently passed Citizenship Amendment Act, popularly known as CAA. But before I get into the substantive part of this topic, it would be in the fitness of things on my part to share an interesting WhatsApp forward that a friend sent to me a few minutes back. And the essence of what it says goes like this. The 5th Lok Sabha got constituted in March 1971. So the 6th Lok Sabha, in the normal course, should have been constituted by March 1976. But the erstwhile Prime Minister, after the constitution of the 5th Lok Sabha, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, promulgated emergency in June 1975. And in September 1976, that is, after quite a few months after the regular term of the Lok Sabha in the normal course would have been over, the Law Minister in Mrs. Gandhi's cabinet introduced the 42nd Amendment to the Constitution. And I repeat, this 42nd Amendment was introduced in September 1976. And that amendment sought to incorporate two words in our preamble: secularism and socialist. Now, when the 42nd Amendment was introduced, most of the major opposition leaders were in jail during emergency, and therefore they could not participate in the debate, nor could they vote in the debate on the motion. And most of those who were present and passed the 42nd Amendment were Mrs. Gandhi's yes men. And this 42nd Amendment came into force in February 1977. Now, interestingly, the present Parliament is passing laws following the due constitutional process. The Citizenship Amendment Act is a case in point. All the opposition leaders participated. There was marathon debate in both houses of the Parliament. The act, before it became an act, was debated both outside and inside the Parliament, in the media, including in the social media. It is still being debated even after this having been passed. And unfortunately, still, the drum beaters of secularism describe this action of the government as this government as a fascist government. Now imagine what would happen if Mr. Modi is to emulate Mrs. Gandhi, if he is to put all the opposition leaders in jail and then convene the parliament, introduce an amendment to the constitution, thereby expunging the word secularism. But I'm sure this government is never going to do it. Never, ever, I guess. Now, I do not hold a brief for any government or any political party, but as a conscious citizen, of course, I do have my views. Now, coming to the Citizenship Amendment Act and issues associated with its implementation, one wonders why some of our leaders who hold responsible constitutional positions, some chief ministers of some states, have distinctly indicated that they are not going to implement the Citizenship Amendment Act in their respective states. Now, you may agree with the contents of an act, you may disagree with the contents of an act. But once an act is passed by the parliament, after following the due democratic and constitutional process, to say that this will not be implemented is unconstitutional, and this is being stated by those who became chief ministers after taking oath to defend the constitution, to preserve the constitution, to protect the constitution, after taking oath that they would be loyal to the constitution. If you make statements like this, I think they are very responsible statements. Now, those who support non-implementation, and this has allegedly been, such a statements been made by the chief ministers of West Bengal, Kerala, and Punjab, and probably Maharashtra will perhaps wait till the court verdict is announced, because the Supreme Court is, I believe, seized of the matter. Now, the grounds on which they have expressed their reluctance to implement this amendment are as follows. A, they maintain that this is an assault on the federal structure of the Constitution. They say that implementing this will create serious law and order situation, law and order problems, because according to them, this act is not reflective of the popular will. And C, they say that these governments were not taken into confidence before this amendment act, or this amendment act was actually passed or brought before the two houses of the parliament. Now, friends, regarding the federal structure, well, this has been a matter of debate, whether India is a federal state or a unitary state or a quasi-federal state. And but Article 1 of the Constitution of India clearly states that India is a union of states, which means India is not a federation. It doesn't say that India is a federation of states. It says India is a union of states. This perhaps means that, and obviously the union has greater powers in respect of certain crucial matters over the states. Then Chapter 2 of the Constitution, which comprises Article 5 to Article 11, incorporates provisions with regard to citizenship. Entry 17 of the Union List appended to the Constitution empowers the Union Parliament to legislate on issues concerning citizenship. Now, I am sure you are aware that our Constitution has 3 lists appended to it: the Union List, which enlists subjects on which the Indian Parliament can legislate, the state list, which enlists subject on which the state legislature can legislate, and a concurrent list which enlists subjects on which the both the Union Parliament and the state legislature can legislate. But if both the Union Parliament and the state legislature happen to pass a law on the same subject, then the law passed by the Union Parliament, but the Parliament of India, shall prevail. This has been very clearly stated in the Constitution. Now, citizenship, legislating on citizenship matters is the sole prerogative of the Indian Parliament under under entry 17 of the Union list appended to the 7th schedule of the Constitution. And therefore, then you have this Citizenship Act 1955 as amended from time to time and rules framed thereunder. So I believe that under the Constitution and the law, all the state governments are bound to implement this law. And to suggest that they will not implement this in their respective states, I think, is not something which is in consonance with our Constitution. And this is very, very unfortunate. Now, secondly, they say that this will create a law and order situation. But law and order is a state subject. And if the state cannot maintain law and order, it reflects the inefficiency of the state. Yes, for a while, yes, it may happen. But I think in the ultimate analysis, it is the responsibility of the state to maintain law and order. And as far as the allegation that these governments were not taken into confidence, let me tell you that when this debate happened in the Parliament, and I, like many of us, did listen to the interview, to the debate in both houses of both houses of Parliament, and all the leaders, all the opposition leaders participated in the debates. All the opposition leaders, including leaders from these states, including leaders from West Bengal, Kerala, Punjab, etc., participated in the debate. And they got ample opportunity to express their views. But this Amendment Act was passed not just by the Lok Sabha, but also by the Rajya Sabha, where the ruling dispensation does not have a clear majority. So now to suggest that they will not implement this piece of legislation is unconstitutional and hence unfortunate. Yes, the Supreme Court is seized of the matter, and as far as I know, my information is that this matter will come up before the Supreme Court on the 22nd of January 2020. That's the right way to do. If you feel that a certain act is not in consonance or not in keeping with the Constitution, you are well within your right to challenge the validity of that act in the court. But to say that you will not implement, and this act remains an act, it remains in force till it is struck down by the apex court of the country. So this is what I thought was very important. I thought I must share this with you. You see, I picked up this topic because this is very burning and it affects us all as citizens of this country, because we are human beings and citizens and Indians in the first place. And wherever we have other identities, some of us are men, some of us are women, some of us are persons with disabilities like me, Some of us have, I mean, there are all kinds of diversities. So, friends, this is for you to pause and ponder. I thought this is enough for today. See you till I come up with another video on another important topic. Bye for now.
Speech on. Stop. Button.